welcome to Revelations of a Delusional Knitter. This is episode 98. I am Angela, your host. It is Friday, August 1st, 2014, and on to updates and housekeeping. Welcome if you're new. If you're returning, I thank you as always, and either way, I hope you enjoy and continue to watch the show. If you are on iTunes, if you could leave a star rating and or review, I would appreciate it. And if you're on subscribe to YouTube, if you leave some comments, I would appreciate that as well. And if you're a member of Ravelry, you can come and join the Ravelry group. Week in review, or weeks in review now, because I haven't been recording weekly lately. The only thing I can think of, so my life has not been very exciting, is that my husband and I went to the local, like seafood, it's like ice cream and fried seafood place, and we got the fisherman's platter that we usually get because, oh no, we didn't. Fisherman's platter has haddock in it, scallops, and clams, and I was like, I don't really care about the haddock, do you? And he was like, nah, not really. So we instead got 2 plates, one with scallops and french fries, and one with clams and onion rings, and then we just mixed them all together. And we watched the Hunger Games, finally. I had listened to the audiobooks. I had gotten him into listening to the audiobooks, and we had never watched the movie yet, so we watched the movie, which was pretty good. You do lose a lot in the movie as opposed to the books, because there's just so much more backstory and information in the books that's not available in the movie, due to time and everything, but it was very good. I enjoyed it. He did as well. And that's about it. So I clearly have not done much other than that was very exciting, because I can't even remember. I was sitting here doing show notes trying to figure out what I had done in the last couple of weeks, and I don't even have anything. So, clearly nothing very exciting. Revelations. I have no knitting to show you because July is Tour de Fleece, and I was spinning the entire time. So I didn't do any knitting at all. Now that that's over, I can get back to the Knitters Guild Association Master Hand Knitters program, and I can get back to Ravello, which only needs a tiny bit more, and then sleeves, and my 2-in-1 socks that I was knitting on that are now past the heel and onto the foot I can get back to. So there's a couple of things I wanted to do today. I did not pull those out, so I will show them on the next episode again, but they are in previous episodes if you haven't seen them before. String theory, spinning, lots and lots of spinning. So my goal for 2014 was to spin 12 skeins, because that would be 1 a month, and that I thought was reasonable. I am now up to 6, so I'm getting there. It is August, so should probably have 7, but that's okay. So I have 6 done now. So for Tour de Fleece, I was doing a couple of things, and one of them that I wanted to do, one of my goals, was to spin an entire loop bump and Navajo ply it back on itself. And if you have never seen a loop bump, don't have one handy right now, but they're big. They're usually 5 ounces or so. And it's a center pole bump that usually has a gradient to it. And I finished my skein. I have 400 yards. This is my loop bump skein, and it came out pretty good. I think the next one I do will be better, because now I've learned some things. For example, at the end of the spinning, I was spinning, putting a lot less twist into it, I think just because I was so done spinning it and just wanted to finish. And vice versa, at the beginning of the plying, I wasn't putting enough twist into the plying. So the beginning of it is pretty loose on both sides, and it went the other way for the other side of it. When I had started spinning it, I was putting in too much twist, and at the end of the plying, because I was trying to correct for the beginning plying, I was plying too much as well. So I'm not sure that washing and thwacking that will fix it, because Navajo plied, you're creating chains and multiple chains, and I'm not sure that if you thwack it that the twist will go up over the chain. So I'll have to see. I have not washed it yet, so I'll have to see if any of the plying and spinning evens out or not when I wash it, but I'm thinking not, because it could, but I just don't see how the twist will go past that connecting point where you make another loop. It seems to be really locked in there, so we'll see. But this is a loop bump in Sugar Plum is the colorway, which is gorgeous. And I have 400 yards of this. And I'm not sure what I would like to do with this, but I was thinking something along the lines of maybe another hitchhiker or some sort of shawl type thing like that. The other one that I finished was a new to me challenge on one of the groups, and this bump was like Rambouillet, Corriedale, Fin, and Merino. And I had never spun Corriedale, Fin, or Rambouillet before, so there was a lot of new stuff. What I had started doing with it, these are just ties, by the way, it's sticking out really bad. What I had tried starting doing with it was using it on a support spindle, and then I quickly came to the conclusion that this fiber was not good for supported spinning at all. So I put it on a wheel instead, and it also wanted to be a lot thicker. So I let it be thicker, so it's probably like a DK weight. But this one is also done, and this was a small bat, so it was only like 1 point something ounces, so this is only 70 yards. But it was interesting, and it was fun, and it was different, so I am happy with it. So those are the two that I finished. What I did not finish, but I got a lot done on, was some Into the World fiber on one of my Threads Through Time Turkish spindles. There's some of my hair attached to it. And this was ply on the fly, which was a new technique to me. So you're actually plying right after you're spinning. So you spin a length of a single, and then you immediately ply it back on itself, and then wind it on. And it's coming out very good. I'm very happy with this one. And this was Into the World. It's Superwash BFL in the colorway End of Innocence, which was a Game of Thrones reference, and I split it. The whole colorway actually has green, purple, a reddish purple, and an orange in it, and I split the two. So this one's green and purple, and then I have the other half that I was probably going to do the same thing with. That's more of a reddish, orangey purple. So that's going well. I still have, this is really only like half of the half, so I still have quite a bit, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to get on this spindle. I'm trying to get the entire half done on the spindle, but we'll see. I may have also purchased another Threads Through Time spindle in a D-stash because I love them, and they're very hard to get because they sell out so quickly. And this was a find. It's gorgeous. The whorl is holly, so it's natural wood. That's that white. And then the shaft is diamond wood that's been dyed green, and this is their medium size. And I lucked out because this is from 2010. So back then they were actually less expensive, and now they're more around $40, $50, which is fine. They're very good tools, and they're very well made, so they're definitely worth that price. But I lucked out because I got this one for like $33. So I could not pass it up, and I love the colors. So, I might even do the other half of that braid on this one. And what else? I do have show notes, which I'm ignoring right now, which is not going to go well at all. Oh, speaking of Threads Through Time, I was in their group for a Tour de Fleece, and I won one of the prizes. It was so exciting. So I got a $20 gift certificate, which is awesome, because I'm totally going to get another one of their spindles one of these days. I actually tried in their last shop update, and they just went so fast I missed it. I knew it was coming. She didn't say exactly what time she was going to put the update on, and I had been stocking it all day, and finally decided to go take a shower and do some things around the house, and I went back online again, and they were all gone. So, yeah. What I won was bamboo. I believe this is bamboo merino. Oh, it's right in front of my face. Hopefully I've read it. Bamboo, merino, and nylon. In this gorgeous colors. Very, very cool. So that's 3 ounces of that. And then, I didn't weigh this, so I don't know how much is here, but it seems like quite a lot. These are silk caps, I believe. I forgot to look, but I think they take the ball of silk and they stretch it out, and that's when they call it a cap. It is silk. I'm just not sure if it's called a cap. I'm pretty sure it is though. Or hankies, silk hankies sometimes they're called, but I think this is actually a cap. Dyed in this gorgeous colors. And like I said, there seems to be a lot there. So that as well. And then I got a bottle of lavender eucalyptus, which I love. And I got some spindle and wheel polish that I put away somewhere over here. So that's cool. Really cool prize. I was very excited. And I think that's all for my Tour de Fleece stuff right now. Oh, I did want to mention, I was also, part of my Tour de Fleece goal was to learn supported spinning finally, like really, really learn it. So I had spent a good portion of the month just twirling spindles with no fiber involved at all, just to get the twirling action down and things like that. So also that way I was able to focus on the other things I was spinning, because twirling them, you know, I'd spend 5-10 minutes a day twirling the spindle. So I finally got the hang of it. Last week I've actually been working with fiber and spinning up some samples of things that I had received before with other fiber purchases, and just doing like little mini skeins, which by the way I have no idea where they are right now. But I just saw one. Oh, here's some. So I have like this little skein I had done on one of the supported spindles. This one is camel and silk, so there's another little skein. So it is yarn, as you can see. It is yarn. It's very different for me because I'm very much a worsted spinner, which means that you don't let any twist get into your fiber at all. And I don't want to say you have a death grip on the fiber, but you really have a good hold on it, and you don't let twist go anywhere that you don't want it to go. With supported spinning, you really have to use more of a woolen technique, which is completely different. So, I finally got the hang of it. I want to say yesterday, actually. But prior to that, I have been making yarn, but now it's going really, really well. So this is one of my new supported spindles, which is actually my favorite right now, although it's the one that I've been working with the most. And this is a Ghostworks one, and it's got a gorgeous whirl. I love it. And it spins awesome. It's got a super pointy tip. And I'm spinning up some Into the World bamboo, merino, and nylon, I want to say. Oh no, bamboo, merino, and silk. And it's going very, very well, as you can see. I'm starting to build a cop here. This is a temporary cop up here. I'm finally getting it so that it's a consistent single here now, which is going very well and making me very happy. So what I did was I took the braid of the fiber, and I've just been making roll eggs, which I have to look into a little bit because I'm doing something not quite right at some point, because in the center of them a lot of times I have neps, which is like little felty chunks of fiber, and I think I know what I'm doing wrong, but I don't know how else to do it. So I need to look up how to do that. So I'm taking my hand cards and taking some of the braid, which is way back there, so I'm not going to get it, and making up roll eggs. Because those are a lot easier to spin from if you're trying to do woolen. I did want to mention there are 3 books that I highly recommend if you're interested in supported spinning. One of them I've had for a long, long time, but I didn't really utilize. The other 2 I got recently. And the first one is a smaller one. It's only $6.99. And the print version is more expensive, but for the e-version it's $6.99. And it's called The Rookie's Field Guide to Supported Spinning by Lana Cunningham. You can find that easily if you just search The Rookie's Field Guide to Supported Spinning. And that one's excellent. It's short, it's to the point, it's very direct, and it's got all the information you need to start. The next one is Spinning Exotic Fibers with Russian and Tibetan Spindles by Caroline Sommerfeld, and that one is excellent as well. It's a bit longer than the other one. It's got some history of spindles, where they came from, different countries, types of spindles, and things like that. Also has more information on different types of fibers than the other book did. And that one was $20, I think, for the E version. But it is a lot longer, and it's got more information in it. And the last one, which is the piece de resistance in supported spinning, is Flegel Spin Supported by Susan Glenart Stevens. And she is very well known for supported spinning. And I have the E version because that's $30. and it comes on a USB drive, and but it's a massive, massive book. I want to say it's 200 and something pages. It's over 100, well over 100, I don't know exactly. And what it also has is hyperlinks to video clips of how to do a bunch of things. I forget how many video clips, but there's a lot. Over a dozen, I would say. From preparing fiber to spinning the fiber to all kinds of things. So it's also interactive and visual. So I highly recommend this one too if you're interested. But if you're not quite sure, if you want to pick up one of the other books first before investing in this one, those also have all the information you need as well. But this one has everything. It also has an entire section on fiber with like a whole page on or more on each type of fiber, including wool, camelid, bamboo, everything, silk, every type of fiber. Very, very good. So if you're at all interested in that, that's where you can find information. Okay, we're done with spinning. Oh my goodness. Scrolls, I have nothing. I do have testaments today. I have a set of Knitter's Pride Nova Cubics Interchangeable Deluxe set that I got from Stitchcraft Marketing to review. And I did pull them out and use them, and I love them. They're really, really good. So, here's the thing, if you can see it. And the deluxe set has 7 needle tips. So it's got sizes, US sizes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, and 11. It's got 4 cords. It's got 24 inch, 2 32 inch, and 1 40 inch. It also has a bunch of end caps and the keys to tighten the cords, and it also has cord connectors. So if one of those sizes doesn't work for you, you can make the cable longer by putting 2 together. Comes in this nice case that has a zipper, and when you open it, it flips up, and all of your tips are right here on this flap, and they all have somewhere to sit. And then behind that flap is a pouch where you can keep all the cables and all of the other goodies that it comes with. So that's nice, and here's what I like about them. First of all, the case I just showed you. It's a nice case. It's very well constructed. The zipper is very nice. It's got plenty of room for all the goodies in there. The next thing I like about them is I knit up a little swatch, and as you can see, I often have trouble with my purl rows versus my knit rows and the tension, and this is already very, very even, and I did not block this, as you can see, because it's still curling up on itself. But it came out a lot more even than with round needles, which is what I've heard about square needles before. So, yay. And the square shape, so I have the size 8s out, that's what I knit the swatch on. The square shape provides a very nice grip. They're very comfortable, and you don't have to hold them very tightly to have a nice grip on them, because the corners rest nicely in your hand, and they're very, very comfortable. They're slick, so the stitches slide on them nicely, but they're not so slick that you're having trouble maneuvering and things are flying everywhere. They're just slick enough that you have a nice slide, but nothing gets hung up on them or anything like that. The join is very good, and let me see here. The join's very smooth, and your stitches go right over it. And the length of the needle tip is perfect for me. I often find with interchangeable ones, some of the shorter needle tips, I hold my needles like this, and I often find that I bend the cable right here. These are just long enough that my palm is hitting the very end of the needle, and so I won't put a kink in the cable. Some of my other interchangeable sets look like that, like permanently, they're like bent. So the length of the needle tips is perfect for me. And I also like each one has the needle size printed right on the needle tip. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but that's really cool, because then when you're digging around in your pouch, if you don't put them back in order, like I never do, they say right on them what they are. So that's really cool too. The tips are, I would say, medium for pointiness, heading towards a little more pointy. They're not super blunt, they're not super pointy, but they're a little bit more pointy than middle of the road. They were very easy to work with. They were very easy. I think this length of the tip is just perfect enough to get into the stitches, and you don't have to worry about the square part of it interfering with you getting into stitches. It worked quite well. I did this swatch in like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes right before I started recording. So yeah, very, very good. The cable is pretty bendy, not super bendy, but nice and bendy. You could magic loop with them, I would suspect, because that works perfectly like that. It's not stiff, so it's a nice, nice cable. I like the colors. Black is always perfect. Black goes with everything, right? So, that is Knitter's Pride Nova Cubics Interchangeable Deluxe Set, and I highly recommend it. And I will have to see as I use them longer if they untwist at all. I don't think so though, because of the square point. I don't think that the needles will rotate very much when you're holding them, because I think that's another problem I have with other interchangeable ones, because I know I will untwist yarn while I'm knitting it, so I know there's some twisting going on there when I knit, and sometimes my cables come unscrewed. So I don't think that will happen with these though, because the way they're held, they don't rotate a lot in my fingers. So, yay! So I'm sure I will talk about them again, because I would love to do a whole project with them. And that's that. So you can find those in lots of places I know carry Knitter's Pride stuff. You can go to Knitter's Pride website and check them out, see what other information they have on them. So that's it for Testaments. Now we're on to Heresy. Sweater design is on hold for a while. Oh, actually, I was thinking of doing my sweater design with those needles when I knit the sample for that. Beading tutorial is done, and I don't think it was done on the last episode. So the beading tutorial is all done, completely finished. Took me 7 or 8 hours to render the whole thing. But it is done. It is up on YouTube, and it is up on delusionalknitter.com. It's also on the Ravelry group. So if you are on iTunes, you did not see it because I didn't put it in there because it's not actually a podcast episode. So you can go to youtube.com/delusionalknitter. You can go to delusionalknitter.com, or you can go to the Ravelry board if you want to view those. And if there's a lot of people that really want it on iTunes, I'm happy to put it up there. I just didn't know if people wanted tutorials in there because it's not actually a podcast episode. The other thing I have is a ply on the fly tutorial for that technique I was doing on the Turkish spindle. I did up a little video for that as well, and that's also in those same places you can find it. And let's see what else we have. I'm running out of time. I should probably pause and come back because I only have a couple minutes left on this recording. So I think I will do that. So I will be back shortly for more. Have a few more things to talk about, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, on with the rest of the show. I always try to get it done in 30 minutes, but it never happens. It's easier to edit and render and everything if it's under 30 minutes, but oh well. So, onto the seasonal Sock Syndrome knit along. I got more prizes, and I'm probably done. I probably won't solicit any more prizes because now I have enough, I think, for 4 prizes for the remaining 3 sessions. So first up is Calliope's Fibers, and Shauna was extremely generous and gave us 3 sets of stitch markers. So I'll have 1 for each of the remaining giveaways. And each set, for example, this one looks like little circuit boards. Each set comes with some sort of theme stitch markers, as well as these ones, which are knitting related. They're little ones that say like SSK, make one, knit front and back, yarn over, and things like that. So there's a ton of markers per set, if I could think of words that made sense. I'm still on the 11 to 7 shift for another month, and it's killing me. I will talk about that in a little bit. So there's those circuit board ones, and they come in a nice little pouch. And then let's see what else we had. Then there's, I really need more room here to like lay everything out, but this one's super cute. It's got a little owl bead and then color coordinated ones, as well as the other ones that I just showed. And then we've got, the last one was, these are little fish, I think. Yeah, there's little fish charms on this one. Oh, these are super cute. And then they have a little, like, bead charm with them. I hope these are showing up well on the camera, because I can't see what I'm doing. So those three, we have those 3 sets of markers. And then I have 2 more skeins of yarn. Let me just get my stuff together here, sorry. And I've got from Marigold Jen, she sent this lovely, lovely skein. This lovely colorway. And this is Neptune, and it's 75% BFL, 25% nylon, superwash sock, 464 yards. That's from Marigold Jen. And then I have from Greenwood Fiberworks. This is in their Stardust base, which has the sparkly bits in it. This is the Arcade colorway, which she said was her most popular one. This is a lovely color. And that's Greenwood Fiber Arts. I'm sorry, Greenwood Fiberworks. Oh god, I need sleep. So we have this lovely as well. And she has, again, if you're interested in any spinning, but supported spinning, she has some fibers, gorgeous dyed fibers. She has a yak blend and a camel blend, so she's got some good fibers for spinning too, as well as, you know, merinos and stuff like that. So yay, more prizes. I'm so excited. Alright, so that's the seasonal Sock Syndrome knit along. Will be going on for the rest of the year. Right now we're in the summer session, so if you come to the Ravelry group, it's got all the information, it's got all the prizes, it's got the rules, and all that stuff. So knit some socks. Now we are on to Ravelry Patterns. Let's see what I got here. The first one is the Mini Mochi Mitered Eyelet Shawl by Gail Tanqueray, and this one's free and works really well for Mini Mochi. It's a really cool shawl. You could also use any, you know, gradient yarn, or like Noro or Knit Picks Chroma or something like that. I'll show you a bigger picture here. It's a nice, like, eyelet mitered. They're not really squares, they're kind of diamonds, but that one's really cool. And then, I don't know, this Amager, it's A-M-A-G-E-R is the name of the pattern, and it's by Leah McGlone, and that one is also free. And calls for lace weight, but you could do it in anything, I think. And it's just a nice wrap. Like that stitch pattern a lot. That looks really nice and dainty. And the last one, and I just had to laugh. Let me first show you what got me to click for more information. This got me to click on the button. Oh yes, it did. And what I found was that it's called Men in Knitwear Calendar Club 2014. It's $15. There are 13 patterns. So each month a pattern is released. There's the 13th one is the cover pattern. And I will just read to you what they said on there, and then I'll show you some of the other patterns. So it said, you can subscribe to the Men in Knitwear Calendar Club and enjoy a new man in your inbox at the start of every month. That's 12 small to medium-sized projects, on a larger-than-life man, plus the bonus cover design. Total of 13 super cool knitting patterns brought to life by our handsome models. We don't want to distract you from the knitwear, so the models won't be wearing loads of other clothes. You'll never forget an appointment again. So, yeah, it just cracked me up, and I might have to subscribe to it because it's good. Let's find some more patterns for it. I don't even know what the patterns are. I'm busy looking at other things. This one actually took me a few minutes to figure out what the pattern was because I was a little too busy just looking at the man. There's that one. So if you can't tell, there are fingerless gloves in there. That's what the knitting pattern is. And we'll do one more. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. We'll do that one. They're all nice, but this is actually a really cool pattern. There's a shawl. I know it's hard to see, but there's a shawl in there. I'll show you the it's a nice colorwork shawl. There you go. So that is a really cool ebook pattern. Yeah. It just cracked me up. I was like, what is this? And then, yeah, when I read their little description of it, I was giggling. So those are your Ravelry patterns for this episode. And now we are on to Delusional Jabber. And I'm going to try and wrap this up quick because my stomach is growling and I'm hungry. So, I haven't done a lot. I did read a bunch of books. With all the spinning I was doing, I listened to a bunch of audiobooks. So I did 2 How to Train Your Dragons books. I did How to Cheat a Dragon's Curse, and I did How to Twist a Dragon's Tail. Both of those are finished because they're only a couple hours long. I also did 2 more of the Bunnicula books. So I did Nighty Nightmare and Return to Howlday Inn. Those are done. I finished Insurgent by Veronica Roth that I was reading on the Kindle. And it ends in a wicked cliffhanger, and I don't have the 3rd book. I have to buy it, so, yeah. I'm gonna read the 3rd book. And I started Getting Old is to Die For. That's number 4 in the Getting Old Cozy Mystery by Rita Lakin. And that one's good as always. And then I started Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman on the audiobook while I was spinning after the other books that And that one's good. I think you'd be better served to read it, though, because there's so many characters that are intertwining when you're listening sometimes. I'm like, who? What? Where? Who's talking? What? So it is a little, like, I think I would have to listen to it again to actually get the whole thing. TV, 24, Live Another Day. I have 1 more episode to watch. The Will Wheaton Project I'm caught up on. Under the Dome, I think I'm caught up on. The Last Ship, I'm almost caught up on. I'm liking that one a lot. That one's pretty good. I started a new one, Murder in the First, which is very good. And it has the kid that played Draco in Harry Potter. Did I talk about this in the last episode? Because I sound like I'm repeating myself. But anyway, it's the kid that played Draco on Harry Potter, who's no longer a kid. He's a very handsome man now. And that's the only thing is I just cannot get it out of my head that he's not Draco. Like, it just, every time I see him, I'm expecting, like, Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron to come running through the screen. But, it's a very good show. I'm liking that one a lot. And I'm waiting for, coming up is Grace Point. David Tennant is in that one. And I don't know if it's Legends with an S or Legend, or if there's more to the title even, but Sean Bean is in that one, so I'm excited for that one as well. And then Doctor Who, I think, is coming soon. Yay! So that's it for TV. And I think that's about it for this episode, because not much has been going on. I've been working a lot. Very, very tired. Working the 11 to 7 shift. The other day, I only slept 3 hours, And then I had to go get my husband because he had to drop his car off at the mechanic. And then we had to pick it up this morning. And we still go to my mechanic friend who's 45 minutes away because, for example, my husband has gone locally before, gotten an estimate for $1,600. We go to my friend and he does it for like $500. Does the same exact stuff. And he is a, you know, certified mechanic through a major dealership. So, yeah. So we take the time to go to him. It's a little inconvenient. But it's not inconvenient when you save $900 or more, you know? So then this morning, I tried to go to sleep at 2 a.m. because he dropped his car off from work. I picked him up, drove him home. I took a nap. And then I woke up at like 8 or 9 or something. And then I tried to go back to sleep at 2. And I was wide awake. Because now for the past month, I've been up until 7 a.m. every night, so I was wide awake. I think I finally fell asleep around 4 or 5, and then he woke me up at 7 to go drive him to get his car so he could go to work. He could take my truck, but then I would have no truck if I wanted to run any errands today, number one. Number two, we'd still have to go get his car at some point, so I just got up and did it, and yeah, so tired. Today's better than yesterday. Yesterday, when we were driving home from there, it was really hot out, and people were driving like morons. And I actually said to my husband, I'm like, I might actually get out of the car and punch somebody today, because I am that tired and cranky. It might happen. Like, it might really happen. And then some guy cut me off in a convertible, and I was like, look, I can actually get out of the car and punch him. There's nothing obstructing it. It was like, very cranky. Very, very cranky. So yeah, I get about another month of that, and then I should be going back to the 3 to 11, which is a lot busier, but the sleep and everything's a lot better, so we'll see. But yeah, that's all that's been going on here. So other than knitting and spinning and stuff, I haven't done really anything outside of that, because all I do is nap all day, spin and knit, and nap some more, and then get up and go to work, and then do it all over again. Today's my day off, so trying to do as many things as I can. I was going to, I doubt this will happen. It's like 1 o'clock now in the afternoon. I was going to go clean my truck and then take it to the car wash. I might at least clean the inside in the driveway, and then that's probably as far as I'm going to get, to be honest. I don't see myself going to the car wash anymore today. It sounded good earlier. It's not sounding so good now. So that's it. I thank you for joining me. I hope you've had a wonderful time. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I'm kind of, except the problem is that most of the good weather I'm sleeping during, so. And yeah, that's it. So, thanks again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week or 10 days or whatever it is until I record again. And happy knitting and spinning.